Have you ever looked at your pill box and thought, wait, did I already take that one? Or maybe you felt a little dizzy, tired, or just not quite like yourself, and you're wondering if one of those little pills could be the reason. You're not alone. As we get older, many of us find ourselves juggling more medications than ever before. Blood pressure tablets, cholesterol pills, diabetes meds, maybe something to help us sleep or soothe a bit of joint pain. And sometimes, without even realizing it, we end up making small mistakes that could have big consequences. I know it sounds scary, but don't worry. That's exactly why we're here today. In this video, we're going to have a relaxed but important conversation about 4 common medication mistakes that seniors often make. These aren't rare or unusual errors, they're everyday slip-ups. That can sneak up on the best of us. The good news? Once you understand what they are, they're totally avoidable. Let's begin with something many people don't even realize is a mistake: mixing medications without checking for interactions. See, every medication you take, even the ones that seem harmless, has the potential to interact with another one. Sometimes that interaction just makes one of them a little less effective, but in other cases, it can lead to side effects like confusion, dizziness, falls, or even more serious issues like kidney damage or heart problems. Take, for example, a common scenario: someone taking a blood thinner for their heart and then adding a painkiller like ibuprofen for arthritis. It sounds innocent enough, right? But combining these two without guidance can significantly increase the risk of internal bleeding. And here's the tricky part: many of these combinations feel safe because both drugs might be over the counter. Just because something doesn't need a prescription doesn't mean it's without risk. So what can you do? Anytime a new medication is added, prescription or not, pause for a moment and ask your doctor or pharmacist, is this safe to take with what I'm already on? Even better, bring all your medications, including supplements, to your appointments. You can keep a simple list in your wallet or on your phone, so it's easy to update and share. Now let's talk about another all-too-common mistake: not taking medications exactly as prescribed. And trust me, we've all been there. Maybe you skip a dose because you're feeling fine and think you don't need it. Or maybe you double up because you forgot a pill yesterday and want to catch up. But here's the thing: medications work best when they're taken consistently. They're carefully timed to build up or stay steady in your body. Skipping doses or taking too much can throw everything off balance and sometimes lead to side effects that weren't there before. Think about a heart medication designed to keep your blood pressure stable. If you skip it, your pressure might spike. If you take too much, you could suddenly feel faint or dizzy. Even something like thyroid medicine needs to be taken the same way every day to really work as it should. Now, I know that keeping track of all this isn't easy. That's why a pill organizer can be a real lifesaver. Those little boxes labeled with the days of the week. Simple, inexpensive, and they help take the guesswork out of your routine. There are also smartphone apps and even talking alarms that can give you gentle reminders. And if you're someone who travels or has an unpredictable schedule, you can always carry a small case with a day's dose, just in case. Another gentle tip: don't stop taking a medication without talking to your doctor, even if you feel better. Feeling better often means the medication is working. Stopping it suddenly might bring the problem right back, or worse. You deserve to feel good and safe. Now let's look at one mistake that surprises a lot of people: assuming natural means harmless. More and more people are turning to supplements, herbal remedies, or natural vitamins to support their health, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But here's the catch: just because something is natural doesn't mean it won't affect your medications. Let's take St. John's wort, a popular herb for mood support. It sounds gentle, right? But it can lower the effectiveness of medications, like antidepressants, blood thinners, and even medications used after surgeries like organ transplants. Grapefruit juice, something as innocent as your morning drink, can interfere with enzymes in your body and change how medications are absorbed. That can lead to too much or too little of a drug in your system. Even multivitamins, especially those with high doses of potassium, magnesium, or iron, can affect the way your body responds to certain medications for heart, blood pressure, or kidney disease. The solution here is not to stop all natural remedies, but to treat them with the same care and attention as prescription drugs. Always mention them to your doctor, and keep in mind, your doctor isn't there to scold you. They want to help you stay safe and feel your best. One more thing to consider. Many seniors see more than one specialist. Your heart doctor might not know what your bone specialist prescribed, and your eye doctor might not know about that herbal sleep aid you picked up at the pharmacy. That's why having one primary doctor, or at least one pharmacist who knows your full list, is so important. They can look at the big picture and help spot any possible issues before they start. So far, we've touched on mixing medications, not following dosage instructions carefully, and underestimating natural remedies. Each of these may seem small on their own, but together they can create real risks. Let's keep going, because awareness is power and your health is worth every bit of care and attention. Now let's take a moment to talk about something that happens quietly, often without warning: missing the early warning signs of side effects. Sometimes the signs are loud, maybe your heart races or you break out in a rash. But other times, they're sneaky. You feel a little more tired than usual, or food doesn't taste the same. Maybe you start feeling confused, or your balance is just a bit off. These small changes are easy to brush off, especially as we age. We tend to think, well, maybe it's just part of getting older. But here's the truth: not every ache, foggy thought, or dizzy spell is just age. Sometimes it's your body waving a little flag, trying to tell you, hey, something's not quite right. Let me share an example that might sound familiar. A woman in her 70s started a new blood pressure medication. A week later, she began feeling unusually tired, even nodding off during the day. She thought, I'm just slowing down. But in reality, her blood pressure was dropping too low. That little change in her pill had a big effect on how her body functioned. Once her doctor adjusted the dosage, she felt like herself again. It's not about being alarmed. It's about being alert. Keep a simple notebook or journal where you jot down how you feel each day, especially after starting something new. A few lines is all it takes. Over time, you might notice patterns that you'd otherwise miss. This record can be a huge help. For your doctor too. It paints a picture beyond just the numbers on a chart. And don't forget, your intuition matters. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Speak up, ask questions, and don't hesitate to call your doctor or pharmacist. You are the expert on you. Nobody knows your body like you do. Now let's talk about something that can be both dangerous and surprisingly common: sharing medications. Maybe it's a friend who says, oh, I take something for that too. Here, try mine. Or maybe it's a spouse or sibling with the same condition and you figure, we're close in age, what works for them should work for me, right? It's a kind gesture, but it can come with serious consequences. Every medication is chosen based on things like your age, your kidney and liver function, other conditions you have, and what's already in your system. Even something like a simple antibiotic can react differently depending on your unique body chemistry. What's safe for one person can be risky for another, especially when you add in other pills already in your routine. One story I often recall is of a man who borrowed his neighbor's muscle relaxant after a gardening injury. He didn't realize that the medication, combined with his blood pressure pills, would cause his heart rate to drop dramatically. He ended up fainting and was lucky to avoid a serious fall. It all started with good intentions, but without full information, even good intentions can lead us astray. So here's a gentle but firm reminder: never share medications, even if the name sounds familiar or the symptoms seem the same. And don't feel awkward saying no to someone offering theirs. Just say, thank you, but I'll check with my doctor first. Your health is too valuable to leave to guesswork. Another important note: be cautious with expired medications too. It might seem harmless to keep pills around just in case, but expired drugs can lose their strength, or worse, become harmful. The chemical structure changes over time, and while the pill may look the same, what it does inside your body might not be. Set a reminder every few months to check expiration dates and safely dispose of anything old or unused. Most pharmacies will gladly take them back for safe disposal. No stress, no mess. Let's also spend a moment on a quiet mistake. That builds up over time. not understanding why you're taking each medication. It's more common than you might think. You go to a doctor's visit, they write a prescription and you start taking it. But somewhere along the line you forget why it was given. Or maybe it was prescribed years ago and never re-evaluated. You keep refilling it out of habit, not knowing if it's still needed or if it's doing more harm than good. Every medication should have a purpose, and that purpose should be clear to you. If you ever find yourself holding a pill and thinking, "Now, what was this one for again?" That's a sign to have a quick chat with your doctor. It's okay to ask questions. In fact, it's wise. Questions like, do I still need this? Could this be replaced with a safer or simpler option? Is there a non-medication alternative now available? These questions aren't confrontational, they're proactive. They show that you care deeply about your health, and any good doctor will welcome that kind of conversation. Staying informed gives you confidence, and confidence gives you peace of mind. That's what we all want, isn't it? To feel in control of our health, not confused or overwhelmed by it. So let's take a breath here and reflect. We've explored how easy it is to overlook things like new side effects, to take meds without fully understanding them, or to borrow from others out of kindness. But we've also seen how a few mindful habits, like writing down how you feel, checking expiration dates, or asking for clarity, can keep you safe and empowered. You are not alone on this journey. There's no shame in needing help or making a mistake. We're all learning all the time. What matters most is that you care enough to be here, to listen, to learn, and to take charge. Let's keep going. Let's keep going and talk about a mistake that often flies under the radar, not including your pharmacist as part of your healthcare team. Now, I know we usually think of our pharmacist as the friendly face behind the counter, handing over our prescription bags and reminding us when a refill is due, but they're so much more than that. In fact, pharmacists are medication experts, and they're trained to spot things even your doctor might miss, especially when it comes to how different drugs work together in your body. Here's the thing. Most seniors take multiple medications, sometimes from different doctors. Maybe your heart specialist prescribed one set of pills, your primary doctor another, and then there's something your orthopedic doctor added in after a fall. That's 3 separate professionals, each focused on their part. But who's looking at the whole picture? That's where your pharmacist comes in. They can catch interactions between those medications, even if each one makes sense on its own. And they're especially helpful if you're using more than one pharmacy or buying supplements elsewhere. All you have to do is ask, "Can you take a look at everything I'm taking and see if anything concerns you?" Most will gladly help, and it could make all the difference. Let me share a story. There was a gentleman named Mr. Anwar who was taking a medication for his prostate, along with pills for high blood pressure and sleep. He started feeling faint every time he stood up. It turned out all 3 medications were lowering his blood pressure, just in different ways. His doctor didn't see the whole list, but his pharmacist spotted the problem immediately. One simple adjustment and Mr. Anwar was steady on his feet again. It's such a powerful reminder. When it comes to your health, you deserve a team that communicates, and your pharmacist should absolutely be part of that team. Now let's turn our attention to a mistake that's more emotional than physical, letting embarrassment stop you from asking questions. It's one of those things we don't always talk about. You're sitting in the doctor's office. They're speaking quickly, using medical terms. Maybe the appointment feels rushed, and you don't want to feel silly by asking them to repeat something. So you nod along, take the prescription, and leave, still confused. But the truth is, there is no such thing as a silly question when it comes to your health. If you don't understand why you're taking something, how to take it, or what it's supposed to do, ask. If you forget something later, call. If you're unsure about how a medication is making you feel, say so. You have every right to clear, honest answers. You've earned that. And more than that, you need that to stay safe. One tip that helps a lot of people is to bring a small notebook or even a loved one to your appointments. That way, you can write things down or have someone else help remember what was said. Don't rely on memory alone. There's nothing wrong with needing support. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Sometimes just saying, "Could you explain that again in simple terms?" can open up a whole new level of understanding. And remember, most healthcare professionals want you to feel empowered. They want you to ask. So give yourself permission to speak up always. Now let's tie everything together. We've talked about mixing medications, skipping or doubling doses, underestimating natural remedies, ignoring early warning signs, borrowing pills, not knowing why you're taking something, and not involving your pharmacist or asking questions. Each of these mistakes is common and very human, but they can all be avoided with just a little more awareness and a little more confidence. That's the beauty of it. Small steps can lead to big safety, like writing down your meds and symptoms in a notebook, like checking expiration dates every few months, like asking your pharmacist for a full medication review, like saying, "Can you explain that again?" Without any shame. These are quiet habits, but powerful ones. If you're watching this and thinking, "I've made one or two of these mistakes before," don't feel bad. Honestly, you're in good company. The important thing is that now you know, and you can take steps today to protect yourself. You've already taken the most important step. You're paying attention to your health, and that deserves a moment of celebration. Because after 60, your health isn't just about adding more years, it's about adding better years. Years filled with energy, clarity, and the confidence that comes from knowing you're in control of your well-being. Medication can be a wonderful tool, but only when it's used wisely. So take that knowledge and do something good with it. Check in with your doctor. Call your pharmacist, organize your pills, talk to your family, and most of all, trust yourself. You've made it this far, and you're stronger than you realize. If this video has helped you feel more confident about your medications, or if you've got tips of your own, share them in the comments below. Your story might help someone else avoid a serious mistake, and that's a gift worth giving. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up so more people like you can find it too. And don't forget to subscribe. We're building a community, here where health, safety, and wisdom come together, where aging isn't feared, it's respected, celebrated, and empowered. Here's to living wisely, living well, and living fully, at every age. If these words reached you softly, like a quiet knock on the door of your heart, then maybe it's because you've been carrying this silently for a while. The questions, the side effects you didn't mention, the bottles lined up like clockwork soldiers on your nightstand, whispering rules you try to follow even when your hands tremble. No one told you it would feel like this. That managing health after 60 could feel more like decoding a mystery than receiving care. So many names, so many doses, and beneath it all, your steady will to keep going. You don't need to carry this weight alone. You don't need to pretend it's easy or act like confusion is weakness. It's not. It never was. You've navigated life's storms before. This is just a quieter one. But still, it deserves attention. And so do you. Every time you pause and ask, "What am I taking? And why?" Every time you speak up, "I don't feel right after this pill." Every time you reach out to a doctor, a pharmacist, or even this video, you're not just managing medications. You're reclaiming agency. You're choosing safety. You're choosing you. And that's not a small thing. That's a revolution in a world that often rushes past elders with clipboards and checklists. But your body, your story, your well-being, they are not checkboxes. They are sacred. So if today your body felt heavy, if your mind felt foggy, if you sat on the edge of your bed wondering, "Is this pill helping me or hurting me?" then please hear this. You are not overreacting. You are not a burden. You are not too late to make changes that matter. You are wise. You are learning. You are advocating for a version of yourself that still wants to live with clarity, with calm, with care, and if no one said it lately, let me say it now. I see you. Still showing up for your health even when it feels confusing. Still trying even when the answers come slowly. Still hoping, somewhere deep down, for more ease in your days. Let that hope live. Let it stretch its legs beside your courage. Let it remind you that safety isn't just about pills and instructions. It's also about voice and dignity and trust. So tonight, as the room grows quiet, as the bottles rest on the shelf, and your breath finds its evening rhythm, may you rest knowing you are not invisible, you are not forgotten, and you are never alone in this journey. I'll meet you again here in this quiet space where your health is honored, your questions are safe, and your strength is never doubted. Until then, take care of your beautiful self, gently, wisely, one breath, one reminder, one safe step at a time.